I was trying to stop the other thing. Are we streaming again? Sorry, guys. We're back. It looks like we're back.
Sorry, but... And we're back.
No,
and we're back.
Maybe we're not. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Oh, I'm a dummy. Okay, I think we're back now. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. I went to stop my recording. If you guys, oh crap. Yeah, go ahead and send me those recordings if you would. And Jeff, before we get off to, or like, we need to do a ritual ad before we get off today, which we can do after the Zoom call if we want to.
I know.
Okay, cool. I'll start a Zoom call so people can hop on and chat about it. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Man, so much fun, guys.
Oh, yeah.
What a great series, and what a fun time podcasting about it. Jay Scotty, thank you for being... I should have been more effusive on the podcast because I kind of forgot to thank you at all. But I really appreciate you being on these 6 weeks. This has been super fun.
It was an absolute blast. I appreciate the opportunity, and I promised RJ Hill I would double up on the ass kissing, but I didn't get to do it. But I really do appreciate the opportunity. It's you guys have been one of my favorite podcasts for so long. So I mean, in addition to seeing you every Wednesday and whatnot, it's just really awesome to be able to watch this show and then immediately like talk to you guys and just be part of it. It's a blast.
Excited to be here, man.
Well, I think we may have actually lost the YouTube because apparently I guess it goes up as a separate video. Like the Twitch people, if they were hanging out in Twitch, it would have just like reloaded, but I guess the YouTube people might have like, yeah. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Well, no, it's just
Zoom.
Maybe not. Maybe we're still good. I can't tell. Okay, switching to Zoom.
All right.
Boop, boop. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, sir.
Let me let everyone else in to the Zoom call.
Welcome to my Zoom call.
Welcome to my Zoom call. A zoom, 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 and a boom, boom.
Whoa.
Just shake your rumps.
I don't think that's not appropriate.
All I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom.
Haley.
Yes.
Haley.
Hi.
What figures are on your shelf in the background? What am I seeing?
Those are my badass ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I have Wanda in her Halloween costume. Wonder Woman, 1984. She's in the kneeling pose, not in the gold suit. I have season 7 Ahsoka and Captain Marvel in her leather jacket.
Nice.
Ooh.
The Ahsoka especially, I love
that one. I really wanted the Rebels one, but it was so expensive.
Yeah, that's fair.
I couldn't. It was like $70.
Oof.
Oh, if we want to talk so expensive, have you looked at the Sideshow Collectibles stuff?
The hot
and I
toys.
can't buy any of it because I'm traveling soon.
Yeah. Oh my God. When I got on there, I was like, these are.
Yeah. There's some like $1,000 stuff in there.
Yeah.
Those things are a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? They really are. They really are. Welcome, Drew. Have you been on the live before?
No, this is my first time.
Sweet. Well, welcome, man.
To the party.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
You have written in many, many years and times, so it's good to see you.
Yeah, 3 years this weekend. I've been a listener.
Oh, dude.
3 years since Infinity War.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Nice. Awesome, you know that anniversary.
I guess it has been 3 years since Infinity War.
It feels like it hasn't. It feels like Infinity War came out like just last year.
It feels like no. Sorry. What's up, guys? Odin Sword, welcome.
Welcome, iPhone.
Welcome, iPhone.
Hey. Yeah, I was gonna say we have an entire brand in chat.
Do I need to add you to our affiliate link? What's our commission gonna be?
Yeah, the hashtag sponsored.
Yeah, I do feel like this is like a weird branding thing we got going on here.
Matt, did you get my cash out?
Oh. I didn't. I haven't looked at my phone since we. Oh. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the Cash App. What was
The whole app.
What was it for? What did you say here? Thank you, Odin Sword. I don't know why. He says 4 inbox was SR plus Tony plus Salt Wakanda. I don't know what that means.
Or what it means is in the box that we seen in the last episode was basically a little bit of Captain America, a little bit of Tony Stark, and a little bit of Wakanda, just a salt with the vibranium.
Yeah.
In the suit.
Interesting.
I made a TikTok about this. We'll definitely talk about it on the Ethics podcast. But to me, that was such an important moment of after how much America has screwed up trying to name a Captain America, of it being Wakanda, who's now kind of taking more of an international role, saying like, we think this guy should be Captain America. To me, that was just such a significant thing.
Yeah.
This is your mascot. You don't have jurisdiction.
Which is weird because which is weird for me because Wakanda really doesn't know Sam Wilson as much as they know the White Wolf, and they don't know him really. So for them to trust him, it's kind of awkward. It's kind of like,
I think
how can you trust
trusting
him?
the White Wolf, though? I think that Bucky
Yeah, I
was
think they're
saying,
trusting him.
This is the guy that is going to be Captain America, and they're like, okay, because you say that, we'll trust you.
Yeah,
We'll make a suit for it.
Is it Sam that is it Bucky that asked them to make the suit? Because he says,
Yeah.
I've got a favor to ask of you.
Yeah, I've got one more favor to ask of you. And
So-
then he shows up with
Bucky.
the box.
So I think it's Bucky asked, but also remember, like, Wakandan surveillance is pretty damn good, and they were watching everything that happened from the moment Zemo got out. So I feel like they were at least also, I mean, they seems weird. We don't know exactly who it was making the decisions, but, like, clearly I think folks from Wakanda and Shuri and the Dora Milaje, like, saw all the things Sam has been doing, like, episodes 3, 4, 5 at least.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
The only
is that
thing
suit vibranium?
No,
I believe so.
Well, no, it's not. I don't think it's vibranium because we didn't see no nanotech.
I think it's laced with vibranium at the very least.
Yeah, I think it has to be. If otherwise he would have
Otherwise,
broken his
why
arms.
Wakanda?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
because he was blocking shots and everything. He was
Why
But he
blocking
was using the
shots.
shield.
Yeah, but he
also
was using the shield. Why would you use the shield if you're Wakanda? If you have
If you're Wakanda.
like vibranium on your suit,
Because he's
you wouldn't
Captain
use
America, that's why you use the shield.
Yeah, but also
Basically.
like the shield is a portable thing he can move around and throw, and there's a lot of like. And when he got in that little shell, when he turtle shelled to block the thing,
Loved
the
it.
wings went around him too. Like I think it's very likely those wings are vibranium.
Oh, without
I think the
doubt.
wings are certainly vibranium.
Yeah,
But-
I think he has to, just for logic's sake, he has to have some vibranium in the suit itself to be able to
Yeah.
be able to brace himself against super soldiers. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, because when he didn't brace, he got basically knocked across the room.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to the next time Sam and Scott Lang see each other because I'm waiting for Scott just to be like, you know, technically I can say I've beaten Captain America now.
It's really important to me that Cap doesn't find out about this.
He's gonna be a real asshole about it.
Now Cap knows.
Yeah, right.
How do you guys think Shuri would have reacted to have to make like a Captain America suit?
Oh,
sort of
man.
like the another broken white boy for us to fix thing.
Yeah. It's a great question.
I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like she would be excited to be making a suit for somebody that looks like her, you know. But then again, she's like, I don't know. It felt like the suit. It was so comic booky, you know. It was pretty much exactly like the comics, and it felt really campy at first because of that. And I was like, maybe that's a design choice that Shuri did. She was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go all in. This is, you know, you want America? I'll put stars everywhere. We'll do stripes on everything. Like, we're going all out. And
I liked it. The turtleneck part feels a little weird, but like, I don't know what feels more weird, the turtleneck or the fact it doesn't cover the top of his head.
Yeah. Like,
because like if it is vibranium, you think you want to just cap that dome off too, huh?
Yeah, make a choice. Like you're either protecting his head or you're not, right?
No, he's got a good hairline. He's got a good hairline, so you got to keep that proper.
Well, Zuhair and I were talking, and he was like, "Well, maybe it's like a stabilizer for when he's flying, because he probably can fly faster." So
that could make sense.
Like, I accept that.
Oh God, yeah. If he's flying super fast and he turns his head to look, he's just gonna break his neck from the wind.
Can he turn his head?
Yeah, it looks like
he's not Batman, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks thin enough. Like from afar, it looks like it's just a fucking neck brace, but like,
I still love that suit.
It's got mesh in it that you can see.
Oh, go ahead.
I hate to say it, but there was one part where he was just flying and they showed him in the background of the city, and I was like, oh man, that's kind of Batman-esque. And I was like, damn it, I hate Batman.
Was it when Carly saw him like fly overhead? And he's like,
yes, when she seen him fly overhead, I was like, oh man, that's so Batman-ish. And I was like, dang. It's like, why'd you have to do that? That's the only bad thing about this episode. I was just like, oh, why'd you have to do that?
That was not the only bad thing about this episode. This episode was like 60% trash, if you ask me.
Interesting.
I liked anything with Sam. Everything else, I was like, this is bad. This is poorly written. This doesn't make sense. This is bad.
I would
Hated
say
it.
60% to me is generous. I might even go as high as like 75. This is by far the worst episode of the season.
Yeah, but you know that they had to like scrap most of their script because of the pandemic.
That doesn't mean they did a good job.
Right. That doesn't make it better.
But they had to. So it's one of those things.
Right.
So tell me what you guys didn't like, because I did not feel that way. I thought a lot of it was just action, which is what it is. But
okay. What is Sharon Carter's plan?
Well, look, I think Sharon Carter was saying, look, people of any gender can have mustaches, and I want to twirl my mustache as much as anyone else.
Like, what was her plan throughout this series?
I thought she was there to... She was there to get super soldiers. That was the whole thing, and her last chance to do that was Carly and her friends. Like, and they even talk about it with Carly. They're like, the friends are in the car. We'll go get them. And we have a plan to get them out and stuff. Like, there's so she's there. She's there to get those super soldiers to be on her team. She even she's trying to convince Carly to like use her network and her friends. She says, we can work together. We can make a difference together. And really, she's just trying to bring Carly to heel and like make her work for the power broker instead of working for the freedom of her people or whatever.
So she's doing that, but at the same time, she's working Sam to get her old job at the CIA back.
Yeah, might as well.
I think that's a contingency. I would say. Or she's trying to do all of that at once, which
the whole thing feels like it like rests on a set of coincidences and contingencies that like just doesn't add up for me.
I don't disagree with you, Muzzy. I feel like that was probably one of those things just out of convenience. I don't think Sharon was originally supposed to be the power broker just because it was broadcasted so much. I think at the end there, they were just like, okay, we just kind of have to make it happen now because it's really the only thing that,
in the comics, there was 2 power brokers. So it's just not Sharon Carter. There's also somebody else behind her.
I mean, comics doesn't mean it's happening on screen.
Yeah. But like, and Sharon Carter is kind of a minor gripe. I felt like it was telegraphed way too much to be interesting, but you don't always get a twist. But like also John Walker like shows up and does the right thing.
Right. Yeah.
Unearned. He spent a night in a garage making a shield, and all of a sudden
that changes a man.
Like hated it. Like if that's the case, have a flashback where he's thinking about like Lamar and the lessons Lamar taught him and how he wants to honor Lamar after disgracing it. Like show us something.
Well, see, I don't.
Because like,
especially because Walker's transition didn't happen in that garage. He comes to the fight only wanting to kill Carly out of pure revenge. It's something happens in the fight that switches him. It makes no sense, and is like Sam and Bucky just treating him like a fellow hero made me so angry. I was like, this man's a murderer. Put him in jail.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Sam. I liked the take that we had on the show that someone you guys pointed out that like it's him trying to. They leave Winter Soldier to like watch him. He's like a babysitter for him.
Right. That was me.
And like I get if you're in the battle against 5 super soldiers. If you're in the battle against 5 super soldiers, like you might need an extra super soldier on your side.
Yeah.
If he's there, if he shows up doing the right thing, you might let him work. But and in the end, they do like watch him. The thing I think they're doing is they're putting. I don't think they're redeemed his character. I think to some people it will appear that way, which I don't like. But I think that like they're setting up his character to be a guy who is trusted enough to be part of a team soon, that the government will trust him, and like they will let him do his thing, but like as U.S. agent. But I think that we're still gonna know that his motivations are bad.
I think that would work if Sam and him didn't have their little moment, because there's a moment where like Sam looks at him and it's kind of like, okay, you're okay.
Hated that.
And that to me was like, that broke everything about Sam's character.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Go ahead, Scotty.
I was just going to say, we got some feedback that I didn't get to hit that I wanted to, but it was a great point that they illustrated when he does become U.S. agent. His like first response to his wife is, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. And like that continues to show that he is not completely rehabilitated. Like he doesn't have an identity unless he's given a mantle of some kind, which continues to show the difference between a man like him and Sam and Steve before him.
Yeah. I just don't buy. There's a moment where he could chase after Carly, but he saves the people, and I don't think we've seen a single moment throughout this series that justifies him not doing what he wants.
Oh, I'll justify that for you right now. Like I don't think he's doing it because he's choosing to do the right thing. I think he's doing it because he learned his lesson in how he got treated when he decided to kill the bad guy instead of save the people. And like he got stripped of his Captain America hood, he got disowned by the government, and so he's going like, he looks at that and he goes, I could go kill her publicly like I want to right now, but if I do this, it will be better PR. So I'm going to do that. I think that was what's going on in his head to me.
That only works if Sam and Bucky are dumb enough to not see through that.
I don't think they're dumb enough to not see through that. I think they do. I don't think they trust him. I think that's why they send Winter Soldier with him. But I think they also think they need an extra super soldier on their side during the last battle.
And like Sam and Bucky, like not picking a fight in the middle of a fight with 5 super soldiers, that doesn't bother me that much. Like as long, and like I do think like the Bucky babysitting him, that's kind of how I took it too. It's just like, I don't think John Walker's actions make sense to me. And, you know, you say they took the title away from him and they punished him, but it's like the next day and he's Captain America and he's not being punished. Like what lesson did he learn? Immediately after the government punishes him, Val comes and tells him the government's going to help him out. And he's still Captain America, we see in the scene. So how did he learn that lesson?
I think the lesson he learned wasn't that he did the wrong thing. It was that he has to start paying attention to PR, which is why I think he didn't do the thing that's why he made that decision, is my point. I don't think he learned a lesson like a good lesson. I think he learned a lesson. I think he learned a lesson that made him make that choice. It justifies that choice. It doesn't justify him as a good guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Do we know that Val is from the government? Is that like a known thing?
We don't.
You guys might know.
Yeah,
because
I guess we
if
don't.
If she's not, then she's filling a vacuum where he was just told you will receive no military benefits in retirement and you will receive nothing that you expected to get from all your years of service, which is a huge blow to a veteran that's been in that long, just from knowing from experience. So then here comes somebody says, I'll take care of you if you'll do this. But we don't know that she's from the government. So
Well, don't we see her in
Val
that
could
same
be
government
from
building?
Hydra. Val could be from Hydra, and then when they do Thunderbolts, he will join Thunderbolts, and then he will actually be the linchpin in Thunderbolts, where he's actually a bad guy.
I don't think Val is going to be Hydra.
Hydra's dead.
I really hope
Well,
not. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, yes, that character is Madam Hydra in the comics, but she's Madam Hydra only to undermine Hydra for Leviathan's benefit. And like, she's in so few comics and has so little to do. My thought is she's playing the Victoria Hand role and or the Norman Osborn role. And I think at the very end, she says, things are going to get weird. That's Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I think that she's talking to
And
the
she's
audience
collecting
at that point.
heroes to fight Skrulls. Heroes.
Things are about to get weird.
She's collecting powered people.
I've been saying it for a while. How cool would it be if we get to see Secret Invasion, but we are very much on the side of the Skrulls? And if they combine the stories of Secret Invasion with the same thing as Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or whatever you want to call it, like, how cool would it be if we're like watching the aliens are invading and we are like totally on their side because we've got the Thunderbolts or the Avengers on the other, Dark Avengers on the other side.
Well, and I could see, like, spoilers for Secret Invasion, a comic book from 10 years ago plus. but at the end of Secret Invasion, Norman Osborn intercepts Nick Fury's intelligence and uses it to kill the Skrull Queen. And because of that, he's honored as a hero and becomes in charge of national defense. I could see Val doing that. I could see them giving Val that role and her being like our Dark Nick Fury for these Dark Avengers.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I totally got Nick Fury vibes.
Nick Fury in the comic books, he took out the Watcher and he became the guy that was on the moon watching everything. So
that's a different story. That's not relevant to Secret Wars at all.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Secret Invasion, rather.
Secret Invasion, yeah.
And honestly, I'm happier when the stories don't tie close to the comics. Like, I like that they're kind of go in new directions and things.
I like that they have the option. I like that, like, we have this history to pull from, but like anytime they can make a change, and that's what makes it interesting. If we could just read the comics and like know exactly what's going to happen, it would make it really annoying.
I think just to build on what Nate was saying also, to me, I still love the show, and I think there's a lot of great stuff, and I'm going to have a lot of fun talking about it. I think, and Odin, you may well be right, the problems I'm talking about are because of the pandemic and all that, and that, like, it means I don't blame the writers necessarily, but I still think it was a bad episode. To me, it just all felt so easy. Like, Bucky and Yori should have been a hard, difficult scene where Bucky wrestled with it, and we got none of that. The Isaiah stuff, like, I don't believe that the U.S. government all of a sudden is just like, oh, yeah, those horrible things. Like, it took decades to get the Smithsonian to put in anything about internment or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that scene with this last thing is the scene with Sam and the senator. Everything he says in the speech is amazing, but to me, the scene felt like an ABC after school special about racism. Like, it was just so awkward and easy, and then the fact that the GRC immediately, like, if you can give one speech like that on TV and the whole world government changes everything it does, AOC would be in charge of the world, I mean, like, or whatever politician you want to count. Like, I just didn't buy that anything could be that easy, and it felt like they were just like, okay, we can't do the story we told, let's just slap it all together in 10 minutes.
Oh, I think that I bought it because I think that, like, the symbolism of Captain America standing up and the Avengers who just saved the world, like, they just, like, brought everyone back, like, him standing up and saying those things that so many people are thinking but don't have the power to say, and, like, I think the PR just turned on them, and they there's people that are still going to want to fill the resettlement camps or whatever, but, like, he tipped. They were already talking about in the thing, are we still going to do this? Is this the right thing? Like, they were at the UN meeting, they were still kind of close on whether they should do it or not. And, like, he just made the PR so bad that, like, oh yeah, you're right. We probably need to at least not do this yet. I loved the scene though. I thought the scene was wonderful. I loved him standing up to them and just the speech was so good.
Yeah, I did feel like Sam was using the optics against them.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, you also brought up that Isaiah Bradley being honored scene, and that was one of my favorite scenes of the show and the episode, and I thought it was super effective. But there was that moment when Isaiah first stepped up and was like standing right next to the statue, and then he looks to Sam, and there was a second where I didn't know if he was happy or not. Like there was a second where I thought he was going to blow up on him and be like, I didn't ask you to do this. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That scene pissed me off a little bit actually, because he specifically asked him to let him stay dead.
Right.
And he instead kind of doxed him. And I was kind of like, it's not great. It's not great that you just told everyone there's a super soldier that they can go experiment on living in Baltimore. Like,
well, I don't know if he
said that.
Yeah, I think the fact that no one went to Isaiah and said, "Hey, can we interview you for this?" means that the people who made that statue think he's still dead.
Well, his name's Isaiah Brad. I mean, maybe he's changed his name. Maybe Isaiah Bradley has how we know him and how Sam knows him, but maybe he has a different name according to everyone in Baltimore. I don't know. Okay. It just seems like they could find him.
If he was like declared legally dead, he's
That's true. That's true.
Have you guys watched the HBO Max thing on Q, the Into the Storm yet?
I have, yeah.
Okay, now when they were doing that whole thing with one people, or what was the thing? One people, or one world, one people. Isn't that almost some Q kind of like things that he would say?
I mean,
during that time,
yeah, it's like
I kind of seen a little bit of that, and I was kind of like, okay. And
it's like populism in general. It's just kind of like,
yeah. I also thought they were going to go parkour when they went into the fight between what's her name, the girl and the redhead Annie and
Carly.
Yeah, Carly. And
thank you.
The other guy. But I thought they were going to go parkour on that, and I was like, please do not go parkour, because that is basically a 2000 thing. We don't need that.
Oh, I love parkour. I love one of my favorite.
I hate that
scenes,
in movies.
One of my favorite fight scenes is that first James Bond movie with Daniel Craig, where they're like doing all that crazy parkour on the big like whatever, all those structures. I loved it.
And the construction site?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. By the way, Megan, I love your Megan, not a sponsor, sorry. Do you I always try to introduce new people when they come on, but we didn't have your name or anything. Welcome. And feel free to throw out your 2 cents if you like. Hey.
We got a quick wave.
And she was covered by Falcon, sorry. Oh.
Oh, you mean on the stream?
Yeah, I had her had Falcon over her because she wasn't on the screen. I love the Megan, not a sponsor though.
She just responded in the chat. She says, LOL, I can't talk, but I'm loving this. Thank you.
Oh, well, welcome. Come by anytime.
Thanks for coming out.
Is Steve even still alive? Because they never like specifically said that he's dead.
He's on the moon.
I hope he's on the moon. I really hope he's on the moon.
We're with the Watcher and the
Oh god.
Well, Inhumans isn't canon anymore, so Adelan's gone.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make that canon. It's probably still there. It's just not in the one we know.
Now I don't want to think about him being on the moon, because now what just came to me is maybe the way we resolve all of these like continuity issues is that Steve is actually with a like Agent Carter in like a framework thing. Like he doesn't actually ever go back and have an actual experience with that person.
That's the worst.
I know, that's where my mind went when you talked about like he's on the moon.
Steve
it's like
was actually just a Skrull.
No, not even a Skrull. It's just like it's not.
They just put him in the framework after he put the stones back. So like he never actually saw Peggy. He just like lived with a robo Peggy.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's the worst.
That's
bad ethical panda.
So yeah, Steve's on the moon, right? He's in the framework with Peggy. That's where he thinks he is. And the old man Steve that came back and gave Sam the shield is a Skrull. and that's why like that fixes the weird time travel continuity thing.
that's the worst too. The fact that wasn't real.
Or it's just a Martian Manhunter. Maybe that's the way to explain it.
Get out of here with that DC shit.
Yeah, I don't want to hear an DC Martian Manhunter kind of stuff.
Listen, no, we had some DC in this. Like Alfred straight up appeared in this episode.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, yeah, technically he did, but no.
I don't have any memory of Zemo's butler's name. I'm just calling him Alfred.
Oh yeah,
100% who he is.
Zalfred? Can we call him Zalfred?
Yeah.
Like
well,
Zemo's Alfred?
A question Paul and I were texting about. Do you think, because Paul was, do you think that Zemo actually like orchestrated that? Or was it more that Zemo told the butler, like, hey, I'm going to be in jail. You need to take care of the Flag Smashers however you can. And so the butler kind of did what he knew Zemo would want, but not on like exact orders. Because I don't think Zemo could have arranged that exactly from the raft.
The thing that
do you think that old dude just like walked up and like just put an IED on the road? Because I would pay to watch that footage.
That I want that deleted scene. Just like actually, I would love it. I would love it if there was a scene earlier in the episode where like an old man was just walking across the door. We don't recognize him. He drops something and goes and he keeps walking, and it's the IED that he placed.
Absolutely ridiculous, and I love it.
Yeah, I don't think Zemo would have. I like it more that if Zemo didn't have like all the control, he just wanted Alfred to do something like that.
It makes me question Zemo's power level or like his influence level. That like the only guy he had to execute this plan was Zalfred. Like, is there? I don't know. He just I guess that's his only like go-to guy that he has.
It seems like he could have hired Batroc the Leaper, but he wasn't in time.
I really am curious, like how much money he still has. Like, what is his? I don't know. I mean, he has all those cars, right?
Yeah. What's a Sokovian dollar worth?
Not as much as a Wakandan dollar.
Maybe
there.
Maybe he got in early on Bitcoin.
Yeah. He went to prison during the whole Bitcoin like. Rocketing
just been
for
sitting there racking up interest.
He's like, the best thing they ever did to me was send me to prison. I am richer than ever.
I can't spend my money because I'm in prison.
What was the line in
collecting interest?
Yeah. What was the line in Civil War? It's like a man can do anything with patience. And
but he's really not rich because he couldn't even keep his refrigerator in his jet like legit, where the wine was actually like cold.
Well, it's not like they kept the engine running.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the butler would have been like every 3 months buying a new bottle of wine just to be like, okay, well, in case this is when it gets out.
Yeah, someday.
One of these days he's gonna get busted out.
Yep.
Now I just have this forlorn butler like in my head who's just like waiting every day by the phone.
Oh my god, I would read a comic strip about Zemo's butler.
Oh yes.
Every single day. Just like this evil toady
what
butler.
Is he doing? It's the comic strip that's like, what is he doing to pass the time until Zemo breaks out? And he's just like, how does an old man entertain himself? Today I blew up some people.
He's just like knitting purple masks.
And that wasn't a mask from Zemo's past. That was just like it was laying there because the butler was bored, and he's just like, oh, he did think of me.
Oh, he's sewing Zemo's initials into all of his prison clothes.
He's embroidering all of it. He's like, did you wear the mask I made you? Yes, I wore the mask you made me.
It gets cold.
I love it.
Oh god.
Zemo's butler is my second favorite character now.
Now, would you guys watch a series that happened to be with Baron Zemo's butler?
Yes.
Catfishing one of the Dora Milaje chicks.
No.
No.
You had me at Zemo, but then I was like, no, that's
Nah.
Like just straight up, like just catfishing her to believe that he was like a 23-year-old like stud or something like that, and the whole time that she's thinking, oh, he's great, and then he's just an old guy.
Old guys can be great.
yeah.
I like him. I like him better as this somehow evil yet innocent soul, like doing all these old man things. Like,
like he doesn't really get that Zemo's evil. I mean, is Zemo evil? Based on this show, he doesn't seem very evil.
I mean, especially also their ages as well. That's why I said the Alfred thing. Like, I very much believe that this butler, like, bounced 3-year-old Zemo on his knee. Was like babysitting little baby Zemo when his parents were not very involved. Like,
yeah, Zemo is Batman. Zemo's Batman at this point, and I'm digging it.
Yes.
He lost his family. He doesn't want it to happen again to anyone else. It's just a different set of villains. I love it.
He's Batman. Like, he's Batman, but he's not Bruce Wayne. He's like if Tony Stark was Batman. Because like Bruce Wayne has never had the charm and the like smiling as much as like.
But it's not as it's a weird. To me he's way more charming than Tony. Well, I don't know about that. Tony just has such a brash, like rude nature to him. Zemo seems like he's kind of like charming but kind of sheepish and like yeah.
Tony was an alcoholic, so I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
And Baron's not. He just is a party person.
What was that, Haley?
Said alcoholics can be charming. Have you ever been to a bar?
Yes, I have been to a bar. I've been to a bar, but I'm saying like
not recently either.
Yeah, no, not recently.
What was that like?
Actually, no, I did. I went to a bar last week. I went to a bar to pick up some food. Well, no, that's the only bars I've been to, and I always stay away from the crowd. But I'm fully vaccinated now, and I went to a bar to pick up some food, and this guy my friend was having
Johnson & Johnson?
No, I got the Pfizer. And I got
the Johnson & Johnson.
I started a buddy of mine was having a birthday party, and I didn't know anything about it. He was just there with his friends, and they were like, "Hey, come hang out." I was like, "Well, the COVID thing." Like, "Oh, we're all vaccinated," and I was like, "I guess I could hang for like an hour. I don't know." And like I sat at a bar and drank with people. It was great. Everyone was vaccinated. It was awesome. It was really nice.
So I really have to go to work, and Catherine's here, so there's ladies represented.
Is it like a baton you guys hand off, or is like there a signal?
Yeah, we planned it totally.
It's gotta be a lady
I'll see
chat.
you guys later.
Bye, Haley.
Bye, Haley.
Thank you. What's up,
I
Catherine?
had to do work during a work day during work hours. I was a little bit upset about that.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst. I had a meeting.
Don't they know it's Falcon Winter Soldier Day?
Well, right? I did have my calendar blocked off for watching the actual episode, but then they were like, "Oh, you're available for."
You're done watching, right? No.
I'm just gonna plug. Today's episode of Invincible is off the chain.
Oh yeah.
So if you're not watching Invincible, you should catch up before the finale next week. It is so good.
Keep your spoilers.
I haven't watched it yet.
No spoilers, but
I haven't watched it yet.
Next week. So now would be the time to just binge it and catch up, and then give Scotty some 5-star reviews.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
Scotty kisses your ass. I kiss Scotty's ass.
It's a real human centipede here. Hang on.
Oh no.
That's not ass kissing.
I mean,
sorry.
No.
That's just no. We're gonna stop.
Sorry, I could not go there. He was talking about a circle of people kissing each other's asses. Okay, it's just there. It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
It's my turn to
11
say.
o'clock in the morning.
A little bit your fault, Matt.
Get your lips off my ass, Muzzy.
Matt, what happened to the restrained Southern gentleman? You're from Alabama.
Oh, I've never been a restrained Southern gentleman. Much to my mom's chagrin.
I'm actually kind of drunk, so there is somebody in here that's drunk.
I wanted to ask, but I wasn't gonna.
Go ahead. That's you. Pull those punches.
He is. That's what he. No.
Drew, do you know something we don't know about Disney Sony?
Oh, they announced that all the Sony Marvel movies are going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What
I
he's saying
posted
is
that
the
in
Spider-Man
chat.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So they're
so
working
the
together
Spider-Mans and the Venom and Morbius stuff.
Yes.
On
The
Disney
Spider,
Plus.
I was like, yes, Spider-Man's coming to Disney Plus. And Venom, does that mean they're gonna tie that shit in?
Yeah, they're doing a Venom Carnage, Venom Carnage movie in November, I believe.
I know they've got the second Venom looked like it was gonna have Carnage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think the guy that should have played Carnage, and you probably, I don't know if you guys will remember this, but the guy that played Harry Connick Jr., I think should have been Carnage.
Interesting.
I think that if you watched the movie where what's her name was just like locked in her room the whole time, I can't remember what it's called now.
The Room.
Is it Room?
No,
Larson
no.
that she won the Oscar for?
Yeah,
No,
Room, not
it's
The Room. That's different.
No, it's the movie back in the 90s, and she was scared to leave her room even though she was looking for serial killers. Oh man, I can't think of what it was called, but like she was scared to leave her room, and Harry Connick Jr. was the actual serial killer, and he looks He looks exactly
Spoilers for the movie we don't know that you're talking about.
We haven't figured out what it is. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Somebody Google it because I can't right now.
No, don't. Spoilers.
But no,
Is
it's
Copycat.
It makes it real.
Copycats. Yes, it's Copycat.
Now I'm never watching
now
Copycat.
I can't watch that.
I was going to do a whole ethics episode about it. Never mind.
Oh, well, okay.
It's all up in the zeitgeist right now.
But I always thought that he should be the perfect one because the way he played that role, it would fit perfect with Carnage. And at the time, I was reading Carnage, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is perfect for him. But they're gonna probably throw out somebody else.
Oh yeah, they already do.
Well,
It's
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson,
Yes.
who I think sounds awesome for Carnage. I love it.
Does he have red hair? No.
Yeah.
He does.
And he doesn't have much hair.
He's at the end of that movie I didn't watch, but I did watch the post-credit scene.
Yeah, he shows up in the post-credit sequence of Venom.
Yeah, he looks very Cletus Cassidy.
I don't know. He's got short hair. I want the
Not
full...
in this.
Oh, no. Okay.
Movie magic, man. Movie magic.
His hair is more like...
like I want your hair.
Like
I want your hair for him.
Well, that's a little insulting. No,
a little bit more.
Hey, at least you're not
serial
getting
killer
dragged
hair.
for being a ginger. I mean, come on, Nate. You and I are both getting hit here.
No. And he should be a ginger.
He was saying he's upset because he's not redheaded.
I'm not a ginger. I just have hard water, and so I'm not good. I don't want to be a pretender to the throne.
No stolen ginger valor.
two different thrones.
Stolen valor. I don't know your struggle, and I don't want to appropriate.
Yes. And at one time I was a ginger. I just won't tell you where that hair was. Okay.
I think you kind of did.
Yeah, I feel like you.
Right, yeah.
Not after
I feel
dark.
like by not answering, you kind of answered.
I feel like after dark has to at least be afternoon.
After.
Okay. So I gotta wait 12 minutes.
Hold on, I gotta create a Stranded Panda afternoon logo.
That sounds too much like it's gonna be educational children's TV.
But it's not.
Who was it that thought of
No.
Stranded Panda
it's
Cubs the other day?
Yeah, we thought of Stranded Panda Cubs, and it's such a good name that
It's
Jeff thought of.
Yeah, it
and
really
it's like,
is.
Who who are you going to put on that isn't immediately going to get that shit flagged? We're off.
I have to put on a different hat, a different persona. Do the Sharon Carter thing where I pull my face off and it's just me.
Oh, I thought that was cool. We didn't even mention that. I was like, Nat?
Yeah.
No, wait, she's dead.
Oh,
Well, I'm only thinking of it now, but do you think that was a nod to all the people theorizing that she was a Skrull?
Ooh.
I just don't see her as a Skrull.
I hope she's not. Everybody keeps talking about how, like, it doesn't fit her character. And I'm like, this is called character development. Like, literally, she was stranded for 5 years, and I do not think she was blipped. Everyone keeps saying she was blipped.
I just, to me, like, the thing I wanted most, I feel like, by the end of this is I wish there had been like one more episode that was that like flashback episode a lot of MCU shows give us, that was Carly and Sharon's origin stories, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like we just didn't know anywhere near enough about how the two of them interacted, like where they were coming from. I wanted that story a lot more.
I hear that.
I feel like 8 episodes would have been better for the story. So to just
at least one more.
But this was supposed to come out before WandaVision. So, like, it was supposed to come out because of the pandemic and everything. So, I don't think that's why they didn't go with the Skrull, like, anywhere. I don't think there's any Skrulls until we get the WandaVision.
Yeah, definitely there's no Skrull shown.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Skrulls at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, so, like, it wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah.
In my
Ooh, you got a bot.
In my opinion, on retrospect, I think this series, as much as I love Zemo, and I thought Zemo was one of the best things in this series, they could have cut Zemo and Madripoor and told the same story with minor changes and given some of these characters room to breathe and gone into, like, why is John Walker, what is his PTSD about? What is Carly about? Like, how are these people suffering? Like, you cut the Madripoor episode, you cut the Power Broker, you make it a smaller story, and I think you could have made it work.
Yeah, it is a great point. I want to know more about everyone's backstories. I do kind of feel like we joined the show, everybody already in motion doing their thing, and we don't really get that, like, flashback of who is Carly. Like, why is she so passionate? What is her relationship for Mama Danya? You know, like, why is Mama Danya so important to her? All that stuff.
Well, and that did get almost certainly cut because the person playing Mama Danya is a reasonably well-known actress.
Right.
And she's there to play a corpse.
Yeah,
so,
I heard that.
Like, honestly, I hate to be like the release the cut person, but I would kind of like to see, you know, what they had. Not that I think that exists.
Yeah, probably doesn't.
Oh shit.
She's ironically portrayed by Veronica Falcone.
Oh yeah.
Or coincidentally, I should say, rather than ironically.
I think my impression is like they could release the scripts, but that a lot of that the scripts were just never shot. Like, it's not that they shot a whole thing and then had to reshoot.
Yeah, they shot parts of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely had some reshoots. There's a lot of scenes in this where you can tell, like, oh, that is clearly a awkward cut. Like, there's one in the episode where he does the shield smash.
The whole world was watching.
The whole world was watching. There's a moment where Carly is not wearing her mask, and then it cuts, and she's mid-jump with the mask, like, getting ready to fight. And I was like, I think they had to do something there. There's a bunch of them. The new rock stars keep pointing it out.
There's spots where, like, she's talking to people, and then she's on the other side of the building. And, like, if you rewatch these episodes, just pay attention to how much dialogue happens when people are off screen.
Yep. Or turning their heads.
They redubbed so much of this. And, like, I understand that's difficult. I just, like, you know, like, I was still on this is great and I love this until this episode where I was like, it just didn't come together. And like, overall, I still love the Sam Wilson story of it. I loved what we got for a lot of the characters. This episode just felt really flat for me.
I think
Okay,
a lot of
so-
that is definitely rewriting and stuff, but I think I kind of did this with WandaVision, but like my expectations were like so high. Like I don't really like to admit it, but like I also totally wanted Mephisto in that last episode. But like we wanted so much out of these shows, and then the finale comes and it's like, oh yeah, this was actually just a show about Wanda dealing with grief and them showing us how powerful Wanda really is. And like this show is now just like Haley said, the most important thing it did was like make us love Sam Wilson as Captain America, and it did that beautifully. And like I wanted like borders smashed and politicians killed, and like that's too much for this show. Like I had expectations too high for this, and that's all on me, right?
Catherine, I have a podcast for you to guest on because we're.
Yes and no. I think it's reasonable to expect that like Carly had the potential to be the best villain since Killmonger. She has an interesting ideology. Like there's so much going on there, and then it just kind of felt like it petered out into nothing by the end. And like, yes, she does kill, but like we don't really get her. What is driving Carly to become more and more extreme? Because the situation she's fighting doesn't really change on her, but she becomes more and more extreme. And like, I think it just does a disservice to how interesting she was at the start, that like by the end, she's kind of flat and uninteresting.
This show wanted to say a lot about like internet radicalization and people, but it didn't actually say it. I don't think. I think it started to kind of toe some of those lines, but I don't think it actually went there. And I also think that Mama Danya dying was a more of an important moment for that character than we understood. I think that was when she kind of started getting a little bit more.
I felt like two moments that I really wanted to have more of in the show was I wanted to see more of, like, we never saw Carly with Mama Danya before she died, and I think that's, Catherine, you're right, something we really missed. I also felt like, and maybe this is part of why I felt a little annoyed at Sam's speech, as good as it was, some of that stuff should have been said by Carly. Like, I felt like we never really got to hear her talk passionately about what she kind of made references to it sometimes, but like we didn't really get to hear her give the speech that's got Sam inspired enough to then kind of pass on the message.
I have a feeling that's a reshoots issue. Like I have a feeling a lot of those speeches she would have given were like in various places around the world traveling, and she was probably talking about like, you know, all of our people are being shunned and not given the vaccine. We're dying in the camps. And it's like, oh, that stuff did not happening. So they had to cut all of her scenes. And then instead of that, they just had reshot one scene of Sam Wilson saying that. And it's like, oh, that.
Right.
You know.
Because the vaccine was actually in the first episode. So there was a thing of going on. But what does everybody, if 1 to 10, what would you give this series?
8.
Yeah, I'd say an 8, maybe 8.5. Like overall, I love this series. Like it still does a lot of great things. I just don't think it stuck the landing, and like I'm not gonna hate the whole series because of that.
To me, like I don't know where I put it 1 to 10, but I think it's the best praise I can give it. This to me is on the level of the Netflix MCU, which I don't think any other property has come. And like honestly, I love all of the Netflix MCU. Well, everything that does involve Iron Fist, but and a lot of those shows didn't stick the landing or had like 2 or 3 really like bummer episodes in the middle. So I feel like I can still put it on that level of like this addressed issues in the way that nothing else really has in the same way. So I think it's probably going to be in my top 2 or 3 favorites of like MCU properties.
What about Freeform? Because that's not Freeform's still out there. Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, I don't think those were on the level of.
Cloak and Dagger was okay. Runaways was okay, but neither of them went any. I think those are more like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought was better than those. And S.H.I.E.L.D. was a good show. Which
I love Cloak and Dagger, but I don't like just from a purely like production standpoint and acting and everything. Like I don't think it's on the level of the Netflix MCU or this stuff.
My opinion of like Cloak and Dagger, and I haven't finished the series, and Runaways, which I didn't watch the last season. They remind me of the WB shows, which is when they're great, they're really fun and great. and when they're bad, they go bad fast. You know, and it's lower budget. It's just not the same, and ultimately not canon.
Right. I think a lot of it's probably not going to be canon for sure. And like I think a lot of that the problem is when you have those series that are like lower tier that like aren't being watched over as closely. Like I feel like Feige is like approving every one of these scripts. You know what I mean? Like he's looking at them and making sure nothing's missing. Some of those, like sometimes you get to a middle of the season Cloak and Dagger episode and you feel like not enough eyes were on this episode. You know, like a lot of like this was written by one guy and then it was passed to the other, like the showrunner, and they approved it and they just made it. And it just wasn't as cared for as some of this other stuff.
Like I think Feige would
I'm
never.
I'm sorry, but like Cloak and Dagger, I have a personal
like you're
thing.
sorry.
I love it. No, I do. I
mean,
personally love it only because
That's great.
I have the comics and I have the Infinity War, and I seen where they could have took it, where, you know, in the comics they, you know, Cloak is the one that brings everybody out to fight
Thanos,
against Thanos and everything. So I liked it for that, but they just never did it. And I just like the story of that, and I've always liked that series.
I hear that.
Because it kind of told two sides of the story, and I was kind of like, okay, this makes sense.
I think for what it is, it's a great show. I really, really love it.
And we all get to love the stuff we love, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
some people are like Iron Fist. They're wrong, but it's fine.
What's that, Megan? It sounded like you said something.
I don't think she's trying to. I think that's noise from her work environment.
Gotcha. She's not muted. I thought she was muted and then piped up to say something.
Don't apologize, Megan.
Yeah, you're good. You got any hot takes, Catherine?
She rescinds her apology.
Oh, is she chatting? That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, there's a lot of chat going on. I'm sitting here paying attention to the stream and everything.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. You got any
Multitask more, Matt?
You got any hot takes,
more.
Catherine?
So I'm gonna do a rewatch. I've done this with both shows. I don't rewatch anything until it's all over and I can like fully just like take it all in one day or something. Because I have a lot of like half-formed thoughts about what the show was trying to do and then never really successful. I'm actually gonna send in some feedback, y'all. I'm gonna do
Please
it.
Please do.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
But I am gonna do like a full rewatch because I think there are some things that I really liked while they were happening and then they just didn't pay off. And I have to give them some grace because like there were all those like rewrites and stuff that we just don't really know what happened with.
Yeah. Well, like in episode 2, when Bucky got on the truck, he was like, "It's vaccines. They're transporting vaccines." Like, oh, that feels a lot like it was probably a pandemic storyline there.
Yeah.
Why are the vaccines important?
Yeah.
And then like Mama Danya dies.
Exactly.
But what did she die of?
Yeah, definitely originally the
Right.
whatever the disease is, and then they just
I don't think so. Like originally it was probably that disease.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think on the plane in the Power Broker episode, Sam said it was tuberculosis, and like,
which they've said is happening in the camps because of lack of resources and things like that.
Right.
Lack of cleanliness and all that stuff. But I feel like a line about how like there's things like there are diseases that have been cured that are coming back in these camps where they could have been prevented if resources had been given appropriately. Like that probably would have driven that home a lot more.
It would have. There's a lot of things they could have done with the camps, even with throwaway lines that would have like really helped us
shown them.
Yeah, or showing them would have been better. But I think that might be the issue of like reshoots. Like I think like the things they were shown, they probably had some showing in the camps before, but it was all about the disease, and now it's like they had to take that out. So it's
like one thing I was thinking about when I was just reading through the chats, like there was a couple of people who've been posting in chat, and like all opinions are fine, but we're saying like, well, is the GRC actually bad? I don't think the GRC is bad. And it reminded me of how after episode 1, we did have some people going like, well, is that really racism? And I feel like in the show, they started by subtly showing us racism, and then we're like, nope, this really is racist. we needed that with the GRC. Like we started with the like.
See, I
Carly
disagree
thinks
completely.
the GRC is bad, but we needed more of like some like we need to see more of what the GRC was doing instead of just hearing what Carly was saying about it.
I think when the senator asks if they really need to vote on it and says that they can use troops, that was supposed to be the, hey, the GRC is bad moment. But
yeah, but he was immediately pushed back on with like, we're not hurting them like cattle.
Right.
And like
yeah,
that goes to show, I guess, that there are people in the GRC that are not all bad. So
Also,
there are some people that are shitty and some people that are not.
I think the whole point of Sam Wilson's conversation at the end is that like none of these people are pure evil. And that goes for Carly, that goes for John Walker, that goes for the GRC. And that may not be a thing we all are comfortable with or like, but the whole point of the show is to look at these people and not give them those labels, Like give them...
I oppose them, Matt. They're evil.
I don't want the GRC to be mustache twirlers. I just want it to at least be understood that like what the GRC was doing was not great. And I felt like even by episode 5, that was like at least somewhat clearer, but there's still a lot of like, I was still seeing a lot of people being like, well, I think the GRC are fine. It's just Carly's mad. And I wanted that to be a little clearer.
So who actually in the first episode did actually Falcon save?
Don't know.
We don't know. We don't know, right?
That plot all got dropped as well.
This is the guy that ended up coming out, the Beehive guy. This is the Beehive guy in the other movie. And the other
just a thread they dropped for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I have to get off. I've got all the audio lined up and ready to start editing.
Gross.
Actually, me and Jeff need to. It's not afternoon yet. It is. Never mind. You're good. I need to get off and start editing and do that. And Jeff, me and you got to record a ritual ad. So we'll go do that.
Where's the green screen? Oh,
DJ Scotty.
Screen.
Yes, sir.
My dog tore it down on Wednesday night.
And Matt, we need to figure out a time when you're coming on the Ethics Podcast, or both you and
yes,
Jeff. So.
sometime this week would be great.
I also got to get going. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening to me rant.
Cool. Does
what time are we recording Animation Deliberation? Do you have an idea, or do you want to just send me a message?
I figure we'll shoot for the original start time that we did last time. Does that work for you?
Okay.
It was gonna be 3 my time.
Okay.
3:30 my time.
Okay. Yeah. So like tomorrow though, or was I off a week?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
like
correct.
yeah. Okay. So 3 Pacific tomorrow. Perfect.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Well,
Love you all 3000. I am off of work for the day, so I'm actually going to leave my office.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Enjoy it, man.
That's awesome.
My boss is a real dickhole, though.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he's self-employed.
Yes.
That was Muzzy. Sorry, I got confused when it all shifts. Hey, and Megan and Drew, thanks for joining us. It's I know it's both your first time joining on the live here. And Catherine, I don't know if you've been here on a morning time, have you?
I think like earlier in the season, but I've had work during work, Matt.
I hear it. I hear you.
Worse.
That's the worst. The worst thing. But yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I think it sounds like most people are getting off, so I won't try to pass it off, I guess.
And they're leaving.
But anyway, peace out, guys.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Thank
3000.
Until next time, true
Thanks.
believers.
See ya. Yeah. Actually, I guess if everybody's getting off, me and you can just stay on the Zoom and do the thing. Did I stop the stream? I don't think I stopped the stream. I didn't. Bye, stream.